Hello, it's Betty Shan here. It's been a while, but I want to be honest with you now. I come on about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago and put on a video, and Connor was so busy he didn't have time to go over it. He kind of goes over them for me and tells me what I done wrong and trying to help me become a better video recorder. But you know what? I ain't a movie star and I ain't no cook, and I'm just me. So if you want to watch me, I'm here. But if you're expecting somebody great and grand, you've got the wrong person to watch. Anyway, I come on about 2 weeks ago and I made a video of making a special dish that I learned how to make when I was 12 years old. This recipe come out, and my home ec teacher in school, I don't know whether it's Miss Haywood or Miss Barton, but one of them was my home ec teacher because I was in the 7th grade, and I can't remember who was the 7th grade one and which was the 8th grade one. But anyway, they give me this recipe and told us to try it at home. We didn't have time to cook them in class, so I took this recipe home, and it's so simple, but it has been one that I have used. Oh, how many years should I tell you I've used it? You take 12 from my 77 and you'll know exactly how many years I have used this recipe. I started by doing it at home because Mother was busy one day, and she said, well, go ahead and fix your little recipe. Said, we've got the stuff for it, you just fix it. So I fixed it. My daddy liked it, Mother liked it, my sister liked it, and from time to time we would have this recipe. And the name of it is Soup Burgers. S-O-U-P burgers. And so I fixed this recipe, and it has become one of my go-tos as my children got older, and we'd have hamburgers with the little ones didn't care too much for a hamburger with pickles and lettuce and tomatoes and all that kind of stuff on it. So I pulled out this recipe, and it became a winner of my family. And I used it a lot on Sundays when we'd get in from church. They'd be starved to death wanting something to eat right now. And it was something fast, something easy, and something the children liked. So I want you, now don't you criticize it there. I heard you, but don't you criticize it until you try it. And try it with your family. I've never had a child yet that turned their nose up at it. As a matter of fact, I had some. Amaris, my youngest one, when I would fix it, she didn't even want the hamburger bun to put it on. She just wanted to eat a bowl full of the meat. And so I hope you get something out of this, and I hope you find a recipe that'll be a go-to and an easy, and really it's a lot better for your family than fixing them a hamburger. It's got soup in it, and it's got vegetable soup in it, and they do get a few vegetables in that. So I'm going to take you into my kitchen. We're going to wash our hands, and we're going to try to fix this. Now, what I was going to tell you, 2 weeks ago when I put this on, Connor didn't have time to go through it for a while because he was busy with different things going on. So here the other night, he called me up and he said, Mimo, said, I went through that video and said, you've done a good job, which I felt like then he was just braying. But anyway, he said, you've done a good job. He said, but, and I said, but what, Connor? He said, you had your blouse wrong side out. I said, I did not. He said, yes, you did. I said, Connor, you're storying to me, because he likes to pick on me once in a while and tell me things I did when I really didn't do them. But anyway, he said his mama would verify it, and she did. She said, Mama said you made that video and you had your blouse inside out and your tag was on the outside of your shirt. I said, well, heaven's sakes, don't put that on, and we'll just make another one. So I'm getting the opportunity to make this again. So I hope somebody gets some enjoyment out of it. I've had to eat it twice. Okay, I'm going to turn you off right now, and I'm going to go to my kitchen, and I'll set you up in there, and we'll get going on this. Okay, I'm at my kitchen sink, and I'm going to wash my hands. I want everybody to know that this lady washes her hands. Do you hear that popping sound? That is rain. It's hitting my pipes on the outside of the house, and you can hear it on my hood of where my kitchen stove hood is hooked up. And it's raining, and I thank God for that because we really need the rain. We've been getting a little rain along, and I'm so thankful for it. My yard's greener right now, and I believe I've seen it in years. Okay, let's see what we got over here. Let me pull you up a little bit so you can see. But this is all that this recipe takes, and you're going to say, oh my goodness, that's so easy that I don't want to try it. You must try it. You must try it with your kids, and I believe you'll have a winner. I've always had a winner in it. I fixed it for a lot of different occasions. When I'd have a bunch of company come in with little kids, that was an easy thing to fix for them for lunch once in a while when they'd get tired of a sandwich or something like that. Okay, I got me some ketchup. I want you to see what I've got here. We've got ketchup. I've got an onion. I've got mustard. I've got 1 can of vegetable beef soup. It calls for vegetable soup, but I like the beefy vegetable. It gives it a little more added flavor, and I like it. So try what you want to, but I like the beefy vegetable. And then I've got, it's supposed to be a pound of hamburger meat. Okay, now in the recipe, it calls for 1 tablespoon of fat. But if you get hamburger meat that's not real lean, I never add fat to my meat because we don't need the extra fat. But back in the day, when this recipe first came out with Campbell's soup, they made hamburger meat, and so many times there wasn't hardly any fat whatsoever in it. And it taught the ladies to add a little fat to it so it wouldn't be so gummed together. But I've got a hamburger meat that's got a little fat in it, but you just need a pound now for this recipe. But if you have several children, you'll have to double it or whatever you need to do, but double it this way. Add everything just twice if you want to double it. Okay, so I am going to take this onion, and by magic, I'm going to scoop this stuff back, and by magic, watch me. What do you say? I've got everything ready to go. I've got a 1/2 cup of the onion, is all it calls for, is a 1/2 cup of onion. 2 tablespoons, and my tablespoons of ketchup kind of run together. 2 tablespoons of ketchup and 1 tablespoon of mustard. Okay, now we're going to take this, and I'm going to open up my hamburger meat, and you've seen me wash my hands. I don't ever cook in my kitchen without washing my hands. Okay, I'm going to try to turn you over this way where you can see what I'm doing in my skillet. I have got a skillet here, and I'm going to add my hamburger meat. My pound of hamburger. This is just a tiny bit over a pound, and it was the smallest package I could find when I went to the store the other day. So I wanted to be sure and not get a whole lot more over, but I wanted a pound, at least a pound. So I'm crumbling up this hamburger. I'm sure you can see what I'm doing. I'm just crumbling it up. And I'm going to add the onion to this. Now it's just a 1/2 cup of onion. You don't want to put a whole lot of onion in it because remember your little ones is going to eat it. we're going to put a half a cup of onion in it. And then I'm going to start the burner and get this meat to cooking and get it browned. And while I'm doing that, I shall turn y'all off. That way it won't be so long. Okay, I've cooked my meat. You can see my meat. I have cooked it. It is brown, but it's not dark brown. I don't want it burnt. I just want it cooked done. And here I've got my hamburger meat and my onion, which I use about 80-20 count hamburger meat. 80 lean and 20 fat. And it's just about right because it's got a little bit of fat in it, but not a, I didn't want some you could pick up with a spoon and everything. But here's my ketchup and here's my mustard. 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 1 tablespoon of mustard. And it's going to go right in the pot, just like this. Now I'm going to stir it up. Mix it up in here real good. And you can add a little salt and pepper if you want to. I never add salt because I don't need the extra salt, but if you want a little bit, but don't put much because your soup is salty. Whoops, don't have it out before, be careful. Piece on the stove. Throw it in the sink. Okay, now I've done that, I'm going to add my soup to it. And that's a can. I like vegetable beef in mine. Now give it every bit out. That come out just pretty clean. So I'm going to go with that. Then I'm going to stir it up in there and let it simmer for a little while. This is what you call a super burger. And I never seen a little child that didn't like this. I'm going to turn this down some. And just let it simmer a little bit. Let that soup, everything's done in it. The soup just needs to get hot in it. You don't want to serve it with cold soup in it. Okay, ladies, I want you to look at this. You young mothers, look at this. It's ready to go. Now, I'm just going to pull this off the burner. I'm going to get me a pan, and I'm going to get me some, this is the olive oil spray, and I'm going to spray the bottom of my pan, and I'm going to toast my bread, because I like my bread toasted in this. And I have some hamburger buns left from the other day, and I'm going to put these in there with just a little bit of olive oil just to toast the bread. I like the bread toasted. And I'm going to turn it up a little bit so I don't have to stand here all day just for the bread to toast. And that is what you call a super burger. And I hope your family likes it like my families have over the years, because it is sure something easy to fix. You mothers to fix when you're in a tight spot and you need to get something fast and them little kids are starving to death, they think, and you fix them a super burger and put them up the table, and I guarantee you'll have a winner. I never fixed it anywhere that somebody didn't, that was really good. They want that again, or they want the recipe. And it's so easy. But you know what? Us ladies need some easy recipes and meals that we can fix that won't be so hard, and we don't have to stand in the kitchen. And you've got very few dishes. You can put their sandwiches on a paper plate, give them a few chips and maybe some carrot sticks or celery or something like that, and they'll be good to go till the next meal. Hey ladies, I've toasted my bread. I just like it lightly toasted, but it just makes the sandwich better to have toasted bread. So I toasted my bread. I'm going to take the bottom part, and I'm going to spoon me some on there. It don't take a lot. Matter of fact, I think If I'm not mistaken, I can get a pound of meat and poured it all over my plate, which you should expect that. That's Betty Shan doing it for you. And I put the top on it, and that is ready to eat. You can cut it in half. Let me cut this one in half. You can watch me cut it in half. I've got me a knife here where I clean my onion, and I'm just going to slice this up. And ma'am, you have a winner. That's as good as I remembered it. You have a blessed day. Have a happy 4th. I've got food in my mouth talking, don't I? Y'all have a happy 4th, but make it a safe one for me, will ya? I don't want to read about you in the paper where you've been injured. Be careful with them fireworks, but have a good time. Lord bless you. Keep your chin up and live for the Lord.